Okay, we've got our top three finishers from today's Steel Commander Superbike race here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Our winner, Josh Herron, second place, Cameron Bobier, and third place, JD Beach. We'll get started with JD. You got to share that mic, guys. JD, you had quite a couple of good weeks, but this one necessarily didn't look like it was one of them until today. Is that kind of the case?
Yeah, I mean, Thursday at the end of the day, we found something with the bike, and I was really starting to feel good on it again. And then yesterday, I was feeling good on the race tire, and then when we went to put the soft tire on, we had a bike malfunction, so I didn't get put in a lap, but I had good pace. And the race today, it might sound kind of weird, but this feels better than the last 2 weeks. I mean, I love dirt track, but road racing is where I want to be at right now. And I've put the team through hell, pulled them back out a little bit, and then I put them right back in there. It's been a struggle, but to get this third place just feels amazing. And it's not going to be this easy every race, but we'll keep working at it.
All right, well, congratulations. Second place today, Cameron Bobier. He's our five-time champion, seventh podium of the year. I know this isn't what you wanted. Was it a case of a really bad first lap?
Yeah. So what happened on the start? I had a little issue with my launch control, and honestly, after that kind of happened, and then I kind of rolled and then kind of backed up, and I was pressing my buttons trying to figure out what was going on, and anyways, got shuffled back. Was struggling to get going there. It seems like Heron and Baz, like they were able to put their heads down right away and right off into the sunset. And I was struggling for the rear tire to come in, and I could see other guys were too. So whatever they did today was working. Heron rode awesome. I couldn't even, he was 3 corners ahead of me or 4 corners ahead of me there at the end. But just hats off to the Tytlers guys. Obviously, I want to win. I want to close that championship gap up. But the best we could do today was second, and it's awesome having JD up here on the podium too. Go do our homework for tomorrow and come out swinging.
How were the conditions like during that practice session? And they obviously improved a lot by the time the race started.
Yeah, they improved a ton. We had we were having a little electronic malfunction, or else I would have stayed out a little bit longer in the 20-minute period we got. But I came in, and then just in that amount of time, that 20 minutes, the track improved quite a bit. It was just really, really dirty and greasy in a couple spots. Right where Pash high-sided, he high-sided right in front of me big. And I had a couple moments there too, where the rear end would just come around and never come back. So I'm glad we all got through that safe. It was a little scary at the beginning, but it was all good.
All right, good job. Our winner today, Josh Herron. It's his 4th win of the year, his 14th career AMA Superbike win. He now leads the championship by 30 points on Bobby Fong, who moved past Gagne. After that practice session, I was watching you a little bit when that practice session started, and you didn't seem like the most confident guy in the world. Did that change during that session, and you decided at that point you could just hammer from the beginning?
Yeah, I just, like I told you, I mean, if you look back at least the last 7 years, whenever the conditions are like that, and I don't know, I think subconsciously I just, almost like when you see motocross guys or Skolts like yelling on the grid right before, like something about the fear side of it, like just does something to me at the beginning that allows me to just do what happened today, and I couldn't even explain why. The one big advantage that I would say that I had was this morning, I knew that, I didn't know, but I had a feeling that, or in case the track was like it was this morning and just slippery, when I came in and got my second tire, we didn't do the Q, we did a race tire, and then I went out, did one lap like a warm-up, sat in the pits just kind of like I would on the grid, and then put my head down like it was the start of the race to see kind of like what to expect from the tire, and it just helped a ton. I never thought about doing that before, but I think it made a huge difference. I felt a lot more confident than I think I would have if I hadn't. And I knew I had to get in front of those guys at the beginning because with that knowledge of what the tire was going to be like, I wanted to just take advantage of it and try to go. And I don't know what my gap was at the beginning to like I think second, third was right there, but I think further back we might have had a little bit bigger gap. So I was stoked that worked out. And the guys have been working super hard all weekend. We got lucky that we got that Thursday test because we didn't come here and test like some of the other teams earlier in the year. But yeah, that felt, I don't know, it was a weird win because there's been wins that meant more, but for some reason it was more emotional than a lot of the wins. I don't know, just not having Griffin at the track, and then like he's starting to talk a lot more and understand things. Like right before the race, Rachel sent me a video, and he now recognizes Bobier, and she says, "Who is that?" He's like, "Bobier," and like just the things he does, it's like a whole new motivation, like it was whenever he was first born. And yeah, it's just been an amazing year, and I owe it all to my family and my team, and yeah, it's a shame that Loris went down because it would have helped us in the points, and it also just would have been nice to see him, get on the podium because he's been working hard all year. So just thank you to everybody. Thank you to the huge turnout of fans in Mid-Ohio. This was always one of my favorite tracks to come to, and it's nice seeing like stacked fans out there. So huge shout out to them, and yeah, thank you to everybody, and hopefully we have another one tomorrow.
All right, any questions?
Thanks. Michael Gugis, Road Racing World. So what you were saying was that during qualifying or practice this morning, you did essentially a race simulation with a race tire, right? How many laps did you do on that? Do you
Not
remember?
so much a race simulation, like
Okay.
long distance, but
Right.
just came in, went out on the tire, because the tires have been iffy this weekend, like
Yeah.
with the heat cycle. It's something with the track surface, maybe, I don't know, and the weather. So I just rolled in. I went out like a warm-up lap, rolled into the pits, sat there for like 30 seconds, and then just hammered like it was the first lap of the race, just to simulate the start a little
Got
bit
it.
differently, because the tires, once they've cooled down this weekend, have not been at the same performance. So I wanted to at least know what to expect, and yeah, so it helped a lot.
Makes sense. And JD, when was the last time you were on a podium in a superbike race?
Uh,
Was it earlier this year?
Yeah, Road America Race 2. But I kind of like this one. It was gifted to me a little bit. But you got to take them when they come.
Exactly. All right, that was all I wanted to ask. Go ahead.
Josh, just counting the test on Wednesday, I mean, you guys have had a ton of, or Thursday, you guys have had a ton of track time out there. And yesterday you went quicker in qualifying than today, and then, it's because of the rain overnight, I'm sure. Then it rained before this race. How much has the grip changed every time you're out on the track? Is it hard to kind of predict what it's going to feel like?
Yeah, but you just know everybody's in the same boat. Dunlop made a really good call and brought the R8 tire today, and that I think just made it a little bit better. I was nervous about like I said earlier, like the start and then sitting, especially. I think we might have got lucky with the quick start because it might have been a little bit better than putting warmers, taking them off. Like might have helped us out a little bit. But yeah, the track's just been so different every session, it seems like. So, and Thursday afternoon, I stayed out when it was sprinkling in that last session and did my fastest time of the day Thursday. So I kind of had like some confidence at least in those conditions a little bit, but didn't matter. Every session was completely different, and I don't know exactly why, but worked out though. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, thanks.
One more question for Cameron. If you'd gotten the start that you needed, do you think you could have run with the Ducatis today, or were they just out of touch?
I think they're out of touch.
Okay, just didn't have it. All right, thanks.
Okay, guys, thanks. All right, we have our top three finishers from today's first Mission King of the Baggers race here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Our winner, Troy Herfoss, second place, Kyle Wyman, and third place, Rocco Landers. We'll get started with Rocco. It's his fourth podium of the year and third in a row. You're on a bit of a roll here. You got was it a horrible start or a horrible first lap? But after that, you had the pace to maybe run with these guys.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little frustrated right now. It's kind of funny because, again, like I said at Laguna, at Road America, I would have been stoked with the top 5, and now I've got 3 podiums in a row, and I'm not exactly happy, but it's part of the game. I'm stoked. It's kind of funny. It's like a happy, sad feeling, but yeah, the start wasn't like so much a terrible start on my part, where as it was Rispoli and O'Hara got like insane jumps, and Hayden unfortunately did get a bit of a rough start, so I was able to kind of capitalize on that misfortune and get ahead of him on lap 1. I knew he had pace. But it kind of took me a couple laps to get by James and Tyler, and I kind of lost my groove that first lap, which is kind of unfortunate. But once I got by him, I started trying to lay down heaters. Laps ran out really quick, so I wasn't able to really put a solid charge on towards getting up to these guys, but I could see I was slightly catching them. I mean, I think I was. But, I mean, yeah, it's a good step forward, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and hopefully we can either get 1 or 2 more steps up on this podium.
All right, thank you. Second place today is Kyle Wyman. He's our championship leader. That lead is now 9 points over Troy. 10th podium of the year, and those include 5 victories. It looked like you're having a good battle, then all of a sudden you might have had a moment or something. Did that change your mind on where you could go at that point, late in the race?
Yeah, I mean, when Troy got the jump, I decided to sit there and just, see what he was wanting to do. I could see he was trying to go. And he might have stretched it out to about a half a second at times and just kind of chilled and stayed there. And as he started to get closer to me, I saw an opportunity to try to jam things up a little bit. And, it was just kind of right around that time that I started feeling the front going on me in a lot of places, and got offline once in turn 11 and nearly pitched the thing and lost, like 2 seconds in one moment there. And from there, it was like trying to understand, like, I didn't know literally I was losing the front in places that I hadn't all week. And I thought maybe there was like weepers or something. So I was just like looking at the track and just trying to assess everything. And obviously you're not going to go too quick, in that type of situation. So I don't know if he was just kind of slowing up towards the end, but I felt like I found my groove again towards the end. And yeah, it's a shame we couldn't fight all the way to the end there, but we'll take a second and minimizing the damage and go from there.
The move you did make the one time you got past him briefly, that was looked like something you were thinking about in the challenge, but just weren't close enough. And but it doesn't work because you drift wide. Is that?
Well, it could work if you actually can block him from going to the right of me on the exit, but I had to make sure I got there, and yeah, I kind of blew past him, so it was easy for him to square it up and drive right back around me. So just wanted to see kind of what he would do after that move, but the mistake I made 2 corners later didn't really give me a chance to see. So,
All right. Well, congratulations. Troy Herfoss is our winner today. It's his 5th win of the year. As I mentioned, he's now 9 points behind Kyle. We talked a little bit at the last round, and you said you were going to go home to find your, I won't say what you said, but mojo would be a better word for the public to hear. But is that the case? You went home to Australia and you I saw you do a lot of training and you came back. Was it a hunger thing or just getting in better shape or?
No, we all have stuff going on, and we're not always 100% health, but yeah, there's no point walking around the paddock whinging about it, is it? So just went back home, and I was going to stay through here, and decided to go home and chill out a bit, get my stuff together, get my body in line, and get some consistency. And also, in my opinion, it was evident by myself and Tyler's results at Laguna that we need to just have a bit of a reset, work out why we're starting to drift them few tenths off Kyle, and also I got my crew chief Charlie back, who didn't get let into the country and back in Coda, and you've got no idea how much, not just the work he does solely, but how much a crew chief brings everyone together. For the rider, I can't sit in this heat. You can't sit in the box all day talking to people and asking questions. It just wears you thin. And for me now, I can head up to the camper, have a nap. Charlie thinks the same way I think, and he's a hell of a lot smarter than me. So everything's in line, and he's got the guys really working well together. The Indian Challenge is working better than it has done. That was definitely the most comfortable I've been. I mean, you don't usually see me controlling the race like that. And it was evident that I was strong when the pass he made was sort of it wasn't desperate, but he had to lunge past me, so he couldn't just sort of drift up next to me in the braking zone and cruise on by like when he's a lot stronger than me, he does that. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I played my cards close to my chest today, and looking forward to it.
Okay, any questions?
All right, Kyle, I got one for you. This is kind of a dangerous question, but I don't really know how to ask this any other way. Does this feel like kind of a strange year for you? Like, I don't think I've ever seen you ride harder in a season. And it just feels like there's an intensity in you this year that I don't know. Is it because the competition, have we reached a point where the maturation of the series is making it really just a tough one to go? I mean, I don't know how to explain it or ask.
I think it's just I'm riding with a culmination of, missing out on this championship 2 years in a row. It's tough to have 2022 the title basically taken, with a DQ can't start the race over fluid on the track, which every team in this paddock has done. And then just kind of last year not having the consistency, even though I've won the most races, to miss out on that championship. Yeah, it's just a building intensity that I've brought into 2024. I don't think I'm a different person, but I'm trying to do my best every single day.
Okay,
Thanks. That's it.
Yeah, and it's you're leading, so that's good. You got that.
Yeah, barely.
Well, okay.
But no. No, I mean, I think that Troy would say the same. I mean, we're two pretty hungry guys, and it's a really respectful but very intense rivalry between these. Maybe not as respectful between the teams as it is between us as riders, but it's an intensity that you kind of dream of, really. I mean, to have it mean this much. I mean, short of going to the World Championship, I mean, I don't know what could mean more in the U.S. than this championship, truly.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we talk about it or I write about it, it's like the rivalry's real between the two factories. Obviously, it's the riders and the teams as well. So this is not fun and games here. It's fun to race, but it's also, it's intense.
Yeah, you walk the line between, I would go 3 years between Superbike podiums, and now I'm standing up here on the podium every week in second, trying to force a smile, and you walk the line between, wanting to win and being really grateful for the position that you're in all the time. And I would say it's not sweet and sour. It's called bittersweet, Rocco.
Sweet and sour is good. Pork.
What did you say? It's like a high and low feeling type of thing. Happy and sad.
Okay, we've got our top three finishers from today's Supersport race here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Our winner today, P.J. Jacobson. Second place, Matthew Skoltz. And third place, Larry Pegram. We'll get started with Larry. Larry, I think...
How many years you know you still call him Pegram?
What do you... I always have... What is it, Pegram? Yes. Oh, shit, now you tell me.
40 years
I know, it's like crazy, right?
I was 5.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Team.
All right, we got Larry Pegram in third place, 51-year-old Larry Pegram. And, I mean, I got goosebumps, and I rarely get goosebumps unless I'm cold. So would you have used rain tires if you had it to do over again, or do you think that was the way to go and just how it worked out for you?
Well, I don't want these two. Michael,
I don't want these two guys feeling bad. You know what I mean? So I thought about putting slicks on before the race, and I was like, man, then I'm going to win. These two guys are going to go home tonight and go, 51-year-old man just beat me. So I put the reins on so I had an excuse to let them come by. And I was surprised how long, because I felt like I was going so slow. And lap 3 or 4, I looked back and I was like, oh, God. You're going to crash. You're going too fast. If you're this far ahead of everybody, you're going to crash. So slow down. And it started getting that where it was, greasy and snapping off the corners. And I just was like, they're coming some point. They're coming some point. And I kept looking back and never seeing anybody. And then I saw PJ, and I hadn't seen him at all. And then the next lap, he was close. And I was like, well, he's coming. But who's behind him? I'd like to be on the podium. That would be a really cool day. And then I was like, I think I got second. And I was kind of, it's a new crew. I don't know the guys at Top Pro or anything, and my guy Aldo and Dave, but they were just giving me lap times and position. And I was like, how many laps are left? I need to know. And I was doing this, and they were probably going, what's he doing? But then I saw Scholze coming, and I was like, really looked back for a long time to say, who's behind him? Because I don't care if he passed me. I want to get third, and I didn't let him come by. He was coming by either way, and just got third and was super excited. I mean, just a great day. And these two guys, they did their jobs, and the rest of the guys probably need to quit. They got beat by a 51-year-old guy today.
I mean, as much as a surprise it was, you have been fast this weekend.
Yeah, I was fast, but I haven't been fast enough to lead the race, you know what I mean? But my daughter, Riley, who's sitting right back there, and we've been racing for the last couple of years together in karting and out cars, and I looked at her before the race, and she said, hey, take it easy, don't burn the rain tires up. I said, I'm going to the front. So I had to, I told her that. So I got to the front, and I remember thinking about her, thinking she's probably like, man, Dad, you weren't lying about that. But no, I felt really good. The bike felt good. I mean, I just was worried that they were going to really smoke the tires, and they hung in there pretty good.
All right, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's the first podium Larry's had since 3 Superbike podiums in 2013.
Paul, get it right. Dude, come on,
I know.
man. Surname wrong. Get
You
the
know, it's that
stats
3 weeks
wrong.
off.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
EBR at New Jersey was my last choice.
I have 13, but anyway, okay. Battle it out.
Listen, I'm old, but I got a memory like
You're doing better than
All right, second place today is our championship leader, Matthew Scholz. He's 13 points ahead. He lost some points today to our winner, PJ Jacobson. It's his 12th podium. Was that just a really long day?
Yeah, very unfortunate, long day. I haven't crashed all season, crashed in, back-to-back sessions. One was wet, one was dry, so I wasn't feeling good, but just happy to kind of bring things home in second place. It was a little bit of a sketchy call putting on the slicks because obviously leading the championship, we just want to kind of see whatever PJ was doing, and they took so long. I know they were waiting to kind of for the last second. We were going to copy him, and both of us went out on slicks, and I saw that, so I was going to try to follow him, for the first couple of laps, but he was just putting the gun down, and I nearly crashed a couple times. The R6 doesn't have that power to kind of grunt coming out of the corners. So just trying to roll through the center was just losing a bunch of traction, and just had to settle for second place, which is unfortunate. I think that if it's dry, I've got the late race pace, but today PJ was definitely the faster guy.
All right, well, thank you. A winner today, PJ Jacobson. It's his 6th win of the year and 3rd in a row, and he's cut into the championship points lead by 5 points. Same question to you. Was that a difficult day with how long you were stopped and crashing in the oil and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty long day. I mean, we've run into everyone's dinner time here pretty much, right? So, it was a very long day, and it was unfortunate that me and Scholz crashed in that corner. But I definitely think like there was something oil down or something that happened because it was very strange. And I think we could have had a really good battle in the dry race. I think tomorrow, hopefully, if it's like that, we'll have a great battle like that tomorrow. But yeah, I think that in this race today, I made a pretty smart move, just going back from BSB days and trying to have experience. It looked like it was just going to be for slicks for sure by the end of the race. And then when Larry got out front, I was kind of laughing for a second because I was like, there goes Pegram, he's out front, but I'm going to reel him back in. And then ended up catching him, and I had a pretty big gap, I guess, behind me. So I kept on getting in a rhythm, and it was good. I felt pretty comfortable, and happy with my team and stuff because they deserve it so much. Both sides, Kayla's, Corey's, and my side, they were all on my bike fixing it to make it work for this race, and they really deserve it all.
Do you think we'll see you ever at 51 out here still racing?
I don't think so, but I definitely think that Larry's going to try for 73, his number. So I think that he'll call quits after that.
I never thought I would be racing at 51.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible too. He's on the podium, you know, and then I think it was 2 years ago he almost got on the Superbike podium. So it's you know, Larry hasn't lost it. It's great. So it's and it's Gold Road a good race. So yeah, it's good for all three of us here to be on the podium and yeah, go home now.
All right, any questions?
Real quick, for Matthew and PJ, was there ever a moment in the race where you thinking, oh crap, I've made the wrong call on tires?
Leaving the pit, there were a couple corners that I was like, damn, man, this is going to be sketchy. But I'd say most of the track, you kind of knew that the slicks were the tire choice. Obviously, Pegram went out there sprinting, but I knew that he was going to come, you know, back, you know, towards us. It was just, you know, how long it was going to take. And with about 4 laps to go, I think Larry had about a 4 or 5 second gap on me still. So I did start to panic a little bit. But when he started looking back at me, I knew he was running out of tire. So just thankful that I brought it home in second place.
This one's for actually both you guys, but PJ, a question. So Larry's in front of you. He's not in the championship, but you're a racer. You want to win the race. Is that, you had no question, you're just going to try to get around him and go to the front no matter, you know, didn't even cross your mind?
I mean, at the start of this race, obviously rain tires would be faster because it was more wet and, you know, there was less dry lines. So it's kind of a waiting game and not getting frustrated and trying to plan your race. And I think that, you know, Larry's very fast in the rain, also in the dry, but, you know, he had the rain tires and he was fast at that point. So I wasn't going to go crazy with the slicks because I just didn't, you know, it was too patchy and stuff. It was too sketchy to do that. So I had to stay calm and try to, you know, while the track was drying, get faster. And that's what happened. My only problem, I feel like in the race, I really couldn't see into turn 1 of how wet it was. And then also the back straightaway, I couldn't really see in the braking things there. So.
Second last corner as well. Couldn't see there. It was shiny.
Yeah. So it was like you're squeezing the brake, but you don't know if it's wet or dry under that.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only sketchy part of the whole thing.
Okay. And Matthew, from your perspective too, are you just going to go with PJ and, you know, try to get around him because that's the championship? Is that kind of what your mentality is there?
That was the plan,
Yeah.
but he just went off flying and at a couple moments early on. It just seems like the V2, he can kind of pick it up and still have that torque and just, you know, squirt, you know, coming off of the corners. And I just, on riding the R6, I kind of have to flow a little bit more on the side of the tire, and in these kind of conditions, that just doesn't really work too well. Now, I think PJ used his bike to perfection there, you know, so it's just, he beat me, man. So yeah, we're just gonna have to make sure that we bring some points back, you know, tomorrow.
I got 2 for you, Larry. Just end it up. Sorry, I got to get this out. So 2 things. The bike, you've been developing it, like seriously developing that bike to make it better. It's not just about you riding around. Is the bike now the way you want it to be, or is it still got a little ways to go?
Well, I did a little bit at Laguna with the shifting and stuff, but really here we haven't done hardly anything. I just keep telling them I want more power because it feels a little bit lazy right out of the corners. But other than that, I haven't done much development, you know, with the bike. But, you know, I mean, the guys are doing a good job over there. You know, Dave Brush and Aldo, my mechanics this weekend, have done such a great job. And, you know, got their self soaked out there, changing tires and pouring down rain. I mean, I'm now do this, do that. Oh no, now put the slicks back on. No, put the reins back on. So it was one of those deals, but it was a great day.
Okay, and then the follow up. I think on our podcast, Paul's and mine, you had pretty much said this. You were going to do this race, but now that you're on the podium, are you going to go to Coda? Or are you going to go to New Jersey?
No, probably not. I mean, I might go to Coda, but I like Coda. But New Jersey, it's gonna. And the funny thing is, I'm really good in the rain. It's gonna rain in New Jersey, so I don't want to go there and freeze my butt off like we do every year. So I'll probably just right here. I might go to Coda, but probably not. I just enjoy a little bit, and then, you know, like a day like today where it was just strung out and it was nobody's fault. But you know, you go out there, you come back, and then it's like, okay, I remember why I'm 51. I don't do this anymore because it's a long day. But it was so much fun at the end.
Well, yeah, and to that point, this is an important question, Paul. We didn't talk to you about King of the Baggers. We kind of found out all of a sudden there you were in that race. How did that happen, and how did that go?
I think I got tricked into that. They said, "Hey, can you ride this up pit road for us?" And then somebody pushed me on the track, and I was racing. No, Last night, Gary Gray at 11 o'clock. I go home from here because I'm an hour away, as you know, and I was laying in bed just getting ready to fall asleep. My phone dings, and Gary Gray from Indian goes, "You want to ride a bagger?" And I go, "When?" I thought maybe they were testing on Monday or something. And he goes, "Tomorrow, Sunday." And I'm like, "Who hurt themselves?" And then he said, "Bobby and everything." And so I showed up this morning and got 15 minutes on it, and honestly went out on it the first lap and thought, "There's no way I can ride this thing." And it was just unbelievably tall and then after I rode it 5 or 6 laps, I was like, okay, this is fun.
So you're going to ride it tomorrow for sure?
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right.
Why are you called the worm?
There's so many reasons, and we don't have that kind of time right now. And my daughter's sitting there. Yeah, and my daughter's sitting there. Now, honestly, my sister's 5 years older than me, and when she was probably 15, 16 years old, she had a boyfriend from Louisiana, and he used to call me Worm, and he said, you used to call me a little worm, so she called me that, and I was the worm when I was a little kid. That was it. There's no big story, but I always make up other stuff, but I can't talk about that now.